even if I can't do business with them, I get referrals from people that I just help fix, billing issues and problems with all the time because they couldn't believe I took the time out of my day to fix a problem for them and they're not even my client. Most agents are going to tell you, flip over your card, look at that customer service number, give them a call. They'll be able to help you.
Hey, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, your reverse mortgage experts. And you found the Serving Seniors podcast, where we highlight those businesses and those individuals that help seniors not just survive, but thrive in retirement. And today we have another one of those awesome people. We have Mr. Paul Barrett, and Paul is the founder of the Modern Medicare Agency. And he's going to share with us about how you make those choices and how you can be well informed in the choices, the pros and cons, and how to pick the best solution for you. Paul, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, Matt. Just happy to be here. This is a big topic as far as seniors have on their minds these days, how to choose a plan. So just happy that we have the opportunity to shoot the breeze and maybe help a few folks out while we do it.
Yeah, that's awesome, sir. Well, thanks for being here. And I see your jersey in the background. So tell us about your fanhood. You must be a big Giants fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up a big Giants fan. Obviously, that's Lawrence Taylor in the background.
Yeah.
Giant ever to live. So diehard, Big Blue all the way, even through these bad years we've been dealing with. Praying for John Harbaugh and, a new regime to come in and fix things. But yeah, big Giant fan.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, this is the season that all of us are all undefeated currently. So all teams. We all have a fully injected with hopium, so we got that hope going strong this time of year. Hopefully the Titans and Giants will at least be competing for a playoff spot by the end of the year.
Couldn't be much more interesting. Not to get off topic, but I can't believe you guys have Brian Dable as your coach, and he's taking Giant players over to your side. Very, very interesting.
I know. Yeah, that's what everyone around here is saying. Well, I'm not sure if it makes sense when they're picking up all the players that got them fired in the previous regime, but we'll see.
Picking the good ones, right?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Well, so thanks again for being here. So glad to have you on. I would love to hear, if that's okay, maybe if you could kind of give us some background, gave us a little bit about where you're from, but what kind of jobs have you had in the past, and what was your journey to lead you here to serving seniors?
Yeah, well, first off, I was always into fitness. I thought I was going to be a professional athlete, but at 5'10", 180 pounds, graduated from college, there really wasn't many spots for me.
Okay.
And I moved on to exercise physiology, which basically is a fancy way of saying I'm an overqualified personal trainer. I got into the fitness business, started managing health clubs, and absolutely loved it. Love helping people, want people to get results, love healthy people. But it was so frustrating, right? Because let's face it, if you ask everyone in the room to raise their hand who wants to be in good shape and look good and feel good, everyone's going to raise their hand. And then
right.
Well, this is what you have to eat and this is what you have to do. Everybody's hands go down.
Right.
So it was a tough business to keep constantly finding new clients because people just didn't stick with it, right? Mm-hmm. So I knew I wanted to help people. I like to help people. And I saw insurance as a industry that had a residual type client relationship where you help people long term as they grow. Maybe they have an individual policy, then they get married, then there's a family policy, then there's a policy. You get the point. But then we had President Obama come in. He did the wonderful Affordable Care Act, which really turned all the other insurance plans that were in act right then upside down on their heads. So within a matter of a few months, the business was pretty much gone, or we got paid 1/10 of what we used to get paid, and the policies weren't as good as they used to be. So I got introduced to Medicare. And the great news was I worked in this huge office, one of those fun cubicles where there's 112 of us sitting there dialing away all day. But the greatest thing ever was you have to get certified to do Medicare. And they gave you this national certification. First, you have basically an 8-hour course, and then you go off and you take your exam. Well, out of 112 people, I'm happy to say, it was on 2 people that passed the test the first time.
Wow.
Light bulb went off over my head. I said, here you go. People don't like to learn information. They just want to sell things when they're on the phone calling people. I was always more personal from my personal training and managing health clubs. It was more of a people business than it was transactional. I don't like to be transactional. I like to bond, make relationships, and then figure out what people need and then help them from there. So once I saw everyone had such problems, I really just took off with it. And I worked with that company for a few years, moved on to another company that was similar, but they had much better quality of offerings. You know, you guys do mortgages. Imagine if you only had one bank to offer people. Every time you call somebody, you got to make sure that one bank fits their needs no matter what. Otherwise, you don't do business.
Right.
So my first company only had three people, three insurance carriers that you could actually use. And it just wasn't fitting, right? Too many times I get on the phone, I have a conscience, I feel bad. I can't shove the square into the round hole, you know? I gotta put the cylinder with the cylinder, the square with the square, the rectangle with the rectangle. So I moved to a new company and they had more offerings and they claimed to be, you know, the complete tool belt. Turned out they were like most, you know, these big companies get paid more from certain carriers.
Okay.
So your Humanas, your Blue Crosses, your Aetnas, your Cignas, they're basically buying business back then.
Got it.
Matt, we'll give you $50,000 if in the first quarter you give us X amount of enrollments type of deal. You want to sell somebody outside of the people that are throwing money at us, it was frowned upon. So I kept getting yelled at for selling policies that weren't extra money for them. So after 2 short years with them, I moved on and said, you know what? I don't need anybody. I could do this on my own. I want to offer everything. I want to be able to speak completely honest because these are different benefits, right? You're going to use them most likely. Most people do anyway. I'd probably say 85% of my clients use their benefits on a regular basis. And if you can't see your doctors, you have problems getting things approved, your hospital's not in there, your prescriptions aren't covered properly, it's a problem. So I want to be the problem solver, not the problem creator.
Nice.
That's why I decided to open up my own thing. And then slowly I started adding agents that kind of felt the same way. There's not many of us out there, unfortunately. Most people are transactional. You'll see lots of commercials and bait and switch stuff all over the internet. And it's really just a matter about how many people can I enroll, how many people. It's very short sighted, and it's not the way we like to do things. So we want to have long-term relationships. It's the fastest growing population, the baby boomers, living longer than ever. And I hope you keep living, right? It's a good thing for everybody, makes everything better business-wise. But to have a long-term relationship with these folks is very simple. Just do what they need. What's that? Answer their questions. Explain things. Show them why this policy is better than the other. If they like that other policy anyway, great, you can have it. And when you don't like it and you change your mind, I'm going to be here to help you. If you have problems along the way, guess what? I'm still here to help you.
Wow. That's awesome. That's a great way of doing business. You can sleep well at night knowing you're doing the right thing. And then people, see the difference and they continue to come back. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, we like to think so. Keeping it simple. I think things get overcomplicated when we start thinking, well, how can I make an extra so much money on this versus that? Instead of just saying, hey, let me help as many people as I can. And, even if I can't do business with them, I get referrals from people that I just help fix, billing issues and problems with all the time because they couldn't believe I took the time out of my day to fix a problem for them and they're not even my client. Most agents are going to tell you, flip over your card, look at that customer service number, give them a call. They'll be able to help you. We don't do that.
Man, that's great. That's great. Well, Paul, just so maybe it could be a little more concrete in people's mind, could you share a couple of examples, maybe some people that you met that were having a challenge, whether it's from customer service or just their overall policy and how you were able to help them? And then a little bit about their situation currently after you worked with them.
Yeah, sure. I got a couple of real standout stories. One of my first clients I met him by was actually personal training in the gym. I was getting into my transitional phase of leaving the gym. So I stepped down as a manager, started training, and then I was doing part-time insurance. So I run into this guy. He moved out of New York to Illinois because he was running a big company over there, then came back to New York. Came back to New York to take care of his parents. Parents are sick. Fast forwarding the story. So was Rob. Rob was really sick. He had Crohn's disease. Because he had such a successful company, he never really looked into a lot of things. So while he was in Illinois, it cost him about $6,000 a month for him to get his infusion treatments. And that's negotiated down. So he felt really good about that.
Wow.
The state of Illinois back in, that was like 25 14, he couldn't get a Medicare supplement. That's what you want to have in those types of situations because they give you flexibility. Go to any doctor, any hospital that accepts Medicare. But when you're disabled, certain states put limitations on that and protect the insurance carriers, not the consumers, unfortunately. So he wasn't able to enroll in one. So he stayed on just Medicare, which means you got to pay 20% of all your bills. 20% of infusions that normally cost $20,000 or more, he ended up paying $6,000. So he comes to New York, meets me, and I said, well, didn't you know that you live in a guaranteed issue state now and we can put you on a plan? After 6 months, you build up your credible coverage, which basically just means you've had health insurance for 6 consecutive months, in case people don't know what credible coverage means. And then they have to cover everything that's going on with you, no matter what. And he came in on that 6 month and his first infusion, man, he picked me up. And this is a frail man, picked me up. He was so excited because they covered him 100%.
Wow.
Infusions. So moving on forward, he was so ecstatic because, right? We're talking about it's really a lot of money to be spending. What, $72,000 a year? And that's not even including other medical expenses, doctors, et cetera. So I don't care how much money you have. Eventually, it's gonna run out, right? So that's one of my favorite stories because it was really simple. It was a matter of fact thing, and I really wasn't trying to sell him. And back when I met him in our area in New York, none of the supplement carriers would pay an agent commission for putting somebody that was disabled on a plan.
Wow.
Try and discourage it because they realize people like that are going to a lot of disabled people just have a knee problem, a back problem, whatever. They can't do their work. So they could be alive for 30, 40 more years of expensive ongoing treatments. So at that time, there was no money involved in it whatsoever for me. It just felt good to know something and to be able to pass it on. So that's my favorite one. But most recently, Medicare has an annual election period, and the last 3 years have been crazy, busy beyond belief, lots of disruption in the market. But in the middle of November, I get a call from this guy, Mark, and he wants me to help him with a billing issue. And I'm like, oh my God, my phone's ringing off the hook. I wish I didn't answer this call. Sorry, Mark, if you're listening. But I did. He was a nice man, and his story really hit me. And for a few minutes, I didn't have to think about plans and people being upset and all these other things. It was a different focus, and he wasn't my client. So I listened to him, and I said, all right, you know what? I think I can definitely help you, but you're going to have to wait until December 8th. And there had already been a year and a half that he had been waiting. So he's like, oh, I could wait a few more days. If you're going to help me, no problem. I told him, just take your bills, scan them, send them to me. December 8th, we'll get in touch. Sure enough, December 8th, 6 a.m. in the morning, here comes all these faxes over with all of his bills. And, he called me, left a message at 6 a.m. also. I know you're not in the office yet, but here's the stuff you needed. Please let me know if you need anything else. So it turned out, same procedure done twice. First time, it cost him $400. Second time, it cost him $2,200. And I know you're done twice, same hospital system. So he couldn't figure it out. So after looking at all the bills, I did see that one was done in an outpatient setting, which basically, for people that don't know, that it just means you're going to maybe a doctor's office or clinic and getting something done, not a hospital. The second time it was done in the hospital. And because of the way it was done in different spots, one naturally cost more, even though it was the same exact procedure. So we were able to write a really nice letter with the help of some AI, making it look like we spoke to an attorney, and we sent it over to everybody at that hospital system. We didn't just send it to the office. We sent it to the billing office, the coding office, the doctor's office, everybody, the hospital. And within 7 days, he got notified back, and they didn't give him all of his money back, but they gave him half, which was a win-win type of situation for him because he'd been trying for, like I said, easily, a year and a half to get that money back. And actually, he liked me enough that he did a video testimonial explaining that whole thing of it, which trying to get a 75-year-old man to do a video testimonial was pretty amazing.
Wow.
But it's cool. Anytime you can help people save money on stuff like that, it's a competitive nature of me. Like I said in the beginning, I really wanted to be a professional athlete. And I feel like I need to take that energy and put it into everything that I do. Not just doing that, just like, yeah, you know what? I'm not getting paid, so why am I going to help him? I took it as a challenge because I'm like, I think he's right. I think we should be able to get some money back here, and I want to get it back. My ego kind of stepped in there, and I'm like, we're going to get some money back, and we did. So it's an awesome feeling, right? those are my two favorite stories. I could probably sit here and tell stories for hours and put everyone to sleep, but I won't do it. I promise.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Those are great stories. And I think I could probably pick them out myself, but I'd love to hear from you based on those stories and then based on how you do business. What would people say, Paul, are your superpowers?
Honestly, I think most people appreciate that kind of relentless when they have a problem. I hate when my customers call the insurance carriers first because they set up panic alarms. They're like onions, these insurance carriers. So many layers of intelligence. You get the first layer, they're like complete robots going through a manual, can't really answer questions. You get transferred to the next person,
Okay.
higher, so on and so forth. So my superpower is breaking through the layers with lots of patience. And because I've been doing it for 18 years, a lot of times I can skip through a lot of layers because I know people, even if it was somebody at Humana that I knew in 2007, they're probably working for Blue Cross now because they seem to all hop around from carrier to carrier. But I make relationships with these folks and they know that. And I never try and like I said, you never take the cylinder and put it into triangle. So the carriers appreciate it too. I'm going to take them and give them their best business because it's better for me, it's better for the client, and it's better for them. There's no reason to take someone that doesn't fit, right? Just think about somebody with mortgages. If somehow you were able to take somebody that didn't have the proper credit function and put them into this A+ loan, and next thing you know, they're defaulting. It doesn't look good on you when you're sending an A+ carrier, and they're like, "Wait, that's the third person you sent us that's defaulting."
Yeah.
How's this happening? So it doesn't look good. So it's always about trying to put the best match together so everybody's happy.
Man, that's awesome. That's great. Yeah. And I love you mentioned onions too. On top of layer, it's each time you go a little deeper into an onion, just like cutting it, you cry a little bit more because it's more and more painful. So those
I'm going to use that.
Yeah, those can be challenging. We call them onion loans. And it's every time you pull back a layer and cut a little deeper, you cry a little bit more because your client tells you something else that's going to be challenging. But you got to keep hustling and getting through it, right?
Yeah, amen to that. You got to.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and Paul, I love what you said about looking for different options for your clients and just trying to solve problems and be a relentless and solution. And that's why we wanted to have you on here, because that's what we do, because so many seniors out there in today's world, the largest thing they have on their balance sheet is not their stocks, the bonds, and mutual funds, with some are, but a lot of people, they bought a house, they made all their payments because they had to, and the market was their friend, so it shot up in value. So they have all this equity, which is the largest or one of the largest numbers on their balance sheet. But unfortunately, the world has scared them and think that it's wrong or dangerous or there's a challenge to touch that. So we have so many seniors that are, they're talking to you trying to save a little bit of money when they have all this money tied up in their home that they could use. So we have clients every day that are trying to decide between, meals and medicine and food and, oh my gosh, my tax bill's coming in, my insurance bill's coming in. They have all these concerns. And then they, to make it better, they flip on CNN or Fox News, depending on their side of the aisle. And that doesn't make it any better either, right? Because it's death, destruction, war, fear. It doesn't matter. It's just a different way of saying it, but it's the same stuff, right? So they're worried about that. When there's this golden egg in the backyard, they're just scared of. So that's where we come in, just like you, educate, teach them how there are some safe, there are some ethical, there's some responsible ways you can use some of your equity. You still own your house. You can still sell your house if you ever decide you want to sell it. You can still pass your home on to your kids if you want to, and then they get the equity. It's just that you can borrow money with some programs now that don't require a monthly payment, so you don't stress yourself out and you don't strap your budget. So we love visiting with people like you because we can team up and be able to educate people together and make sure they know there's lots of options and lots of options to improve your situation.
So important. A lot, like you said, so many of my clients will talk about the same things you just said, being stressed about money and not realizing I've lived in this home for 48 years now. And all you're paying is property taxes. You got a lot of equity there, and it really can be super helpful, especially for little things, but quality of life is so important. I think so many people get stuck on what they're going to leave their children and all these other things. And then they start Googling and asking ChatGPT this and that. And they might see something that says Medicare Advantage plans are bad, reverse mortgages are bad. But then if you actually speak to someone that's done one or used one, They're like, I love it. It's great. It saved my life. I hear good story after good story about people that have done reverse mortgages and have really bailed them out because they want to stay where they live, right? Because their grandchildren are there. They don't want to be, someplace across the country just because it's cheaper. They earned their right to stay there. And now you get the opportunity with this program of reverse mortgage to stay, which is awesome.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And you get to stay on your terms, but if you ever want to move, you can still move. And if you want to give your home to your kids, you can still do that as well. So it's kind of one of those having your cake and eat it too. It just gives you more flexibility. So a lot of people, what it'll do, Paul, it'll just buy them time. So maybe they think, well, I'd love to live here 3 to 5 more years, but to do that, I'm going to need to widen the doorways. I need to fix the roof. I need to work on the house, but I don't have the money to do that. So darn it, we're just going to need to sell now, get what we can and move on, which the money's there. They just don't know how to use it. And that's what we show them how to do is get their hands on it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It works. It works really well. Well, Paul, maybe a couple of questions as we wrap up. Number one is how would people get in touch with you to glean some of that knowledge that you have there?
The easiest way is always to just give us a call, 631-358-5793. Of course, you could always visit us online at our website, which is not a quoting tool site. It's not, put your information to get a quote. I try and put as much free information and answers on there as possible. So if you have questions and you don't want to talk to anybody, it's a great spot to go. You can go to my website at www.Paul, my first name, B, my last initial, insurance.com.
Okay, awesome. And anything that I should have asked you that I didn't ask, or anything else you'd want to share?
I mean, honestly, it's just the most important thing is just like in your neck of the woods is mine. You have to get educated. Don't just go with the first agent you speak to if you don't know anything about them. Try and do some vetting. Make sure you understand things before you choose something, because just like not every mortgage is right for everybody. Not every plan is going to be right for everybody. Just because your neighbor said, this plan's awesome, doesn't mean it's going to be awesome for you. We all have different health needs, different budgets, lifestyles, etc. So there's a reason why there's a lot of choices, and the choices are there so you can be matched up with the proper plan. There's no one best plan for everybody.
Well said. Well said. That's awesome. Well, Paul, thank you for all you're doing. Thank you for your approach, and thank you for your passion to serving these seniors. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt. I really appreciate the time and the conversation.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here. And thank you for watching this episode of the Serving Seniors podcast, where we highlight these awesome, awesome people and businesses like Paul that help seniors thrive in retirement. We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you again. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Hey, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, home of retirement mortgage solutions. And we really do appreciate you checking out the Serving Seniors podcast today. Now, please go to the description down in the body of the podcast where you can subscribe to get future shows. Please click that notification button so you get notified when other shows drop. And also, if you can go to servingseniorspodcast.com, and we'd love to hear a comment about our show. We have a heart to serve seniors, and we have a heart to make sure seniors don't just survive retirement, don't just get by in retirement. We want to show seniors how to thrive in retirement. So if you know of anyone that's 55 and older that could use some extra cash flow, maybe the retirement's not going the way that they like, our retirement mortgage solutions are designed for folks, and depending on the state, they're either 55 or 62 and older, to make sure that they have that kind of retirement that they want. As long as they own a home and they're in a good equity position, there could be some solutions that they may not have thought about, or maybe they've thought of and they just didn't know how they work. That's what we do. So anyone in that age group that could use some mortgage advice, my team and I would love to be able to help them. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing you on the next show. Have a great day.